Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, we're going to take a look at 5-man blitzes from the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook that you don't have to make any pre-snap adjustments. The first man blitz defense that I want to show as far as not having to make any pre-snap adjustments is called 3-4 odd pinch buck zero. Now this particular play, the pressure is designed to come from this guy right here, which is going to be this right inside linebacker. And what he'll do is he'll shoot through this A gap and he's going to apply that pressure on the quarterback pretty quick. Now there's one thing I want to point out here with this particular defense. If you run it as is, and you're going to notice as you look at it, that this linebacker is actually lined up right up on the line of scrimmage. If you see this, then there's a good chance that he's not going to get that pressure through the A gap, and I want to show you as we run this. So right there, see how he ends up getting blocked, and then you end up getting that pressure from the from the right outside linebacker. Now to fix that, and you don't want that to happen, you can do a couple different things. You can take control of him. So what you can do is you can go ahead and take control of him and move him back if you want, and do it like this, and then you're going to get that pressure. But there's a simple way to do this rather than even have to do that, where you manually move them. All you got to do is show blitz. And what he's going to do is he'll actually move back off the line of scrimmage about a half a yard to 2 yards, and then watch what happens. And then you're going to get that A gap pressure as well. So that's an easy setup. It doesn't require a whole lot. Just remember, if he lines up like that, where he sneaks up like that, all the way up to the line of scrimmage, then you're going to want to do show blitz. And if you do show blitz, then you're going to get this pressure right here. So that's how you run this one. So this one's called 3-4 odd pinch buck zero. The 3-4 over sting pinch is another man defense that you can run from the Steelers playbook without having to make any pre-snap adjustments. Now this one is designed to get pressure coming from the right inside linebacker as well. And what he's going to do here is he's actually going to loop around into this area here. So he's going to loop in towards the A gap between the center and the right guard. And then he's going to end up coming after and going after the quarterback. Now, with this one, it's real easy to do. As I said before, you don't have to make any adjustments. I'm going to show you one adjustment you can make after I run this that's going to make it even a little bit faster as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. So let's go ahead and run it. And right there you can see he shoots through the A gap and he gets pressure on the quarterback, where he loops around the nose tackle, and then he ends up coming up through that A gap between the center and the right guard. Now another way you can run this one is you can take control of them and just slightly move them over to this area here, and then if you want, you can release them and go take control of somebody else. And all this is going to do is get him in position where he can actually still get that A gap pressure without having to loop around. So those are a couple ways you can run this. Obviously, if you want to, you can show blitz as what I'm showing on the screen right there, and again, he's going to end up coming through and applying pressure through that A gap. So this is a nice little defense that you can run that doesn't require a whole lot as far as anything. Like I said, this is one of those ones where you don't have to make any pre-snap adjustments. I just wanted to show you one adjustment or two that you can make if you still choose to, running the 3-4 over sting pinch. One of the more popular defenses as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback, rather it be man or zone, is a nickel double mug mid blitz zero. Now there's all kinds of ways that you're going to find as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. If you go on YouTube and do a search, you're going to find a lot of different setups for this particular defense. What I want to do here is, since we're trying to focus in on not making any pre-snap adjustments, I'm going to go ahead and run this play. But before I do, I want to show you one of the two guys that are generally going to get pressure if you don't make any pre-snap adjustments. So it's going to come from one of those two guys right there on the outside. So let's go ahead and run this and just watch what happens here. It's probably going to come from the, right there, he kind of got blocked a little bit, but it looked like it was going to come from the left outside pass rusher there. Let's go ahead and run it again one more time here without making any adjustments here. And here it comes right there. So that's generally what's going to happen. Now, if you want to get some A-gap pressure, you can do it a couple different ways. Let's just do this real quick here. You can spread the linebackers out. You'll notice that they go back roughly about 4 to 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Now you're going to get some easy A-gap pressure without having to make really that many adjustments. That was one simple adjustment. You just go ahead and basically spread the linebackers out, and you're going to get something like this. So that's another way that you can get some A-gap pressure without having to make any adjustments. You can see both the linebackers. First time I did it was from the right end. The second time I did it was from the left end. Another way you can run this is to take control of one of them and move them off roughly about 4 to 5 yards, And then you'll notice right there where I got him set up. So this time it's going to end up coming from this linebacker here, who will end up shooting through that A gap and applying the pressure. So that's another thing you can do to make it real simple as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. So again, this one's called nickel double mug mid blitz 0. Another play that you're going to find in the Steelers playbook that's going to bring man pressure on the quarterback without having to make any type of pre-snap adjustments is the dime 1-4 DB sting. Now, as the play indicates by the title of the play, it's called DB sting. The pressure is going to come from one or two defenders, or it could come from both. It's either going to come from this defensive back here on the left as you look at your screen, or you may end up getting pressure from this defensive back who's lined up on the right of your screen as you look at it. So one of those two guys are going to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, the one on the left, generally he'll either get it from the outside here as you look at it, or he may end up coming into the inside here and getting B-gap pressure on the quarterback as you look at it. The one on the other side is almost always going to get it from the outside. So those are what you're literally looking for when you run this one without having to make any pre-snap adjustments. Let's go ahead and run it and see what kind of pressure we get here. Right there, we end up getting it coming from the outside there from the other line, from the defensive back on the right. Let's go ahead and run it again and see what kind of pressure we get this time. And there we end up getting B-gap pressure coming from that defensive back on the left. So that's a couple ways you can run this one without having to make any pre-snap adjustments as far as who to look for. And again, we get that pressure on the quarterback right there. Now, one of the things you can do with this one is go ahead and show blitz. And then that's just going to bring up these guys closer to the line of scrimmage, and then you're going to be in press man coverage. And again, you can run it this way and see what kind of pressure you can get on the quarterback. So that's really a couple things you can do with this. One last thing, get a little bit off script here, but if you want, you can take control of this guy if you so choose to. Let's go ahead and take control of him and bring him in a little bit closer and see what happens there with that one. And then right there, you can get some inside pressure if you want. So that's another way of running that, and it doesn't require a whole lot of adjustments as far as with this one. Right, again, you can see what kind of pressure you can get by bringing him to the inside. And maybe you get some, inside pressure coming there from one of those linebackers as far as shooting through that A gap. So again, that's another defense you can run from the Steelers playbook without having to make too many pre-snap adjustments, or not at all if you so choose to. And this one is called dime 1-4 DB sting. The final man blitz that we want to show here, as far as from the Steelers playbook, without having to make any pre-snap adjustments, is a play called dime 2-3 Overstorm Brave. Now, this particular defense, what you're looking for here is to get pressure from this guy right here, which happens to be a strong safety. He's going to be lined up, as you can see where he's at there, a little bit tighter, about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage there. And what he's going to do here is he's going to shoot through the B gap, and then he's going to apply the pressure on the quarterback. This one's probably about as simple as it's going to get as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback from this particular formation, as far as what I could see. As far as there's a couple other blitz setups in here that they didn't work quite as nice as this one did. So as you look at it, they end up coming through and he gets that B-gap pressure as far as that strong safety. So again, that's really all you got to do with this defense. You really don't have to make any adjustments. If you want to, you can go ahead and call this right here, just call show blitz. You'll move them over just a little bit, but you're still going to end up getting that B-gap pressure. So not a lot you have to do with this one as far as getting the pressure on the quarterback. Very simple. It does the job. It gets the pressure. Let's go ahead and do this one more time as far as show blitz. And again, watch as you get that B-gap pressure right there. So this play is called dime 2-3 Overstorm Brave. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.